The Center for Unhindered Living presents Plus Size Polyamory with Judy McMath, where our motto is, don't follow the crowd, follow your heart. Episode 17, Dating After 50, Why Bother? Good morning, everyone. I hope you're having a great day so far. Welcome to episode 17. Being in the over 50 demographic myself, there was a time when I said to myself, why bother trying to date at my age? No one's going to be interested. All men want is those shiny new models. Why would anybody be interested in me? You may be asking yourself the same thing. But I want to assure you I was pleasantly surprised that at age 61, I'm still attracting men in their 40s, 50s, and 60s, and even occasionally one in their 30s, although I don't actively seek those young men out. You may have ended a long relationship, or your partner may have died. There may have been a divorce or simply a painful breakup. You may be asking yourself, do I really want to go through this again? It's just too hard. And things have changed. I'm not sure I know the rules anymore. Well, I want to assure you that the benefits and rewards are worth it. But first, I'd like to ask you to consider becoming a patron of our show. If you found something of value in our work, you can pledge as little as $1 a month and get access to some neat patron benefits. Just click on the Become a Patron button at the top of the podcast page or go to patron.podbean.com/pspolyamory, and thanks for your support. So a while back, the Today Show did a survey called This is 50, and the results were really interesting. Only 18% of single people in their 50s were dating. Nearly 60% said they didn't need a relationship to be happy. And they're right. It's entirely possible to be happy and single. I'm not knocking it if that's what you really want. But the question is that what you really want? Excuse me. Are you just saying you're okay with it because it's easier to settle than to really get out there and take a chance? According to the survey, more than 40% of the respondents don't believe there's anyone out there to date. Well, I know from personal experience that this is untrue. Of the over 50s who do date, 80% say they do it the old-fashioned way, through friends or family. About a quarter of them use dating websites. Both of those are very valid ways. But I prefer something a little different. First of all, there are potential dates everywhere. You just have to open your eyes. For instance, the Kroger grocery stores in my community, as well as the Safeway grocery stores, all have a Starbucks right there in the store with little tables and chairs where you can sit down and drink coffee. One of my favorite things to do is to go over to the coffee aisle, find someone who's looking at the coffee and say, I'm looking for a brand new coffee. Can you recommend one? When they give you their recommendation, say, I think they have something similar to that over at Starbucks. Want to join me for a cup? My treat. Now, that doesn't always work, but it has worked for me a handful of times. And you get a little mini date right there before you leave the store. You can do the same thing at the cheese display in the deli. Can you recommend a good cheese? What's your favorite? After they give their recommendation, you could say, I was thinking of having a fondue party tonight. Would you like to come? We'll have plenty of your favorite cheese. Get creative. There are so many possibilities at the grocery store. Another great place is Barnes & Noble if you have one in your town. They have coffee right there in the store. You can peruse the bookshelves until you see someone browsing the subjects you're interested in. Then you strike up a conversation and offer to buy them a cup of coffee while you discuss the subjects you have a mutual interest in. Then there are meetups. Meetups are a great place to get to know people who are interested in the same things you're interested in. Go to meetup.com and register for an account. Then you can go join online groups organized around subjects you're interested in, who may also have in-person group meetings. In my city, there's even an over 50 lunch crowd group. There are Facebook groups you can join in your city for free. The Nextdoor app, which allows you to enter your zip code and then places you in a neighborhood group based on where you live, is a great idea. In my neighborhood group, there are also groups for over 40 and over 60 dating as well, so the possibilities are really endless. For those of us who are polyamorous, seeking out these groups is essential, because even though 1 out of every 5 people is or was at one time polyamorous, they very often don't freely share this information in general conversation. So if you want to find others who share your mindset, you have to go to groups whose stated purpose is to provide a space for that. Now, we know that there are plenty of places to find others of our kind, so what next? If you do sit down across the table from someone, don't bond over your baggage. You want to find things to talk about that highlight what you're doing now, not just commiserate over your past failures. Talking about how bad your divorces were or how bad all your past partner's faults were may seem like a good way to bond, but it's really not. Ask the person about themselves. Who doesn't want to talk about themselves if given half a chance? Be genuinely interested. Do flirt. Flirting is not just for the young. Make eye contact, smile and laugh, touch them on the arm, give a compliment. Start by finding 3 things you really like about them. Their shirt, their smile, how much they're devoted to their pet, how they talk about their kids, whatever. You may initially think they're not your type, but if finding your type worked, you wouldn't be here now. I encourage you, don't try looking for the one. The person does not exist. This person here in front of you right now doesn't have to be perfect to be good enough. In the poly community, one thing we have realized a long time ago is that no one person can meet all our needs, so we don't expect that. In general, by the time you reach 50, you know what you want and can articulate that to others. Have the conversation up front about what you're looking for in a relationship. Be honest about your relationship status. How many partners do you have? How would they, as a new person, fit into your relationship structure? How often would you expect to see them? What kind of future do you foresee? In the poly community, we're used to discussing our sexual health pretty early in the relationship. Because poly people have more than one partner, it becomes even more important that STD testing be done regularly. If a poly person asks you for proof of your clean sexual bill of health, don't be offended by that. Many poly people even carry their last set of clean lab results with them in case someone asks. Every 6 months is a generally accepted best practice, but every 3 months is quite reasonable if you're very active. Agreeing on the amount and level of protection to be used really should happen before any sexual activity takes place, although we know sometimes we get carried away in the moment. So just get the testing done. Most of what you read out there about dating over 50 is pretty dismal, and it's colored by the experience of the writer, so don't put too much stock in it. Yes, internet dating can be hard. Yes, there are scammers out there, but it's still worth it to try. I've been pleasantly surprised by my success. For the plus-size person who's trying to date, I've been pleasantly surprised that as we age, potential partners seem to understand themselves that our bodies don't look like they did when we were 20. Expectations are not quite as high, but that doesn't mean you shouldn't try to look your best. Just be honest about your flaws and relax. Remember, all this is supposed to be fun. Don't take it all so seriously. Visit the Center for Unhindered Living's blog at unhindered-living.com. Join our Facebook page at facebook.com/unhinderedliving. Have something to say about this? Leave a comment. Join the discussion. Thanks for listening and have a great day. Currently, episodes of this podcast can be found on Spotify, Breaker, Google Podcasts, Podbean, Apple Podcasts, Pocket Casts, Amazon Music, and Radio Public, as well as our YouTube channel. Please go to our YouTube channel and subscribe to get both videos and copies of this podcast. Thanks for listening, and have a great day. We'll see you next time.